5 o'clock hour. I beg your pardon. We're going forward in Jesus' name. Let me be very spiritual here. Welcome to the show. Still, Happy Independence is still in order because it's the second day in the month of October, and we're still basking in the euphoria of yesterday's Independence Day. Let's talk about young people as we still look at Nigeria at 65. We're putting the young people under the spotlight today because it's very important. Nigeria is a youthful country, for those of us who do not know. Now, according to the National Population Commission, more than 70% of Nigerians are under the age of 30, and over 42% are under 15 years old. By 2030, we hear that our population is projected to hit 263 million people, with young people making up the majority. But here's the hard fact. This huge youthful population is not translating into opportunities. According to Nigeria's labor force survey, youth unemployment rose to 8.6% in 2024 from 7.2%. Now, if you add underemployment and informal hustles that we're very used to in this country, the picture is even worse. Most young Nigerians are either struggling in the informal sector or completely out of work. Meanwhile, the Tinubu administration had made its big promises. First, they promised us a National Youth Academy, a 3 million technical talent program, and a pledge to reduce youth unemployment by 20% before 2029. We're watching. But young people still ask, when will these promises translate into real jobs, real empowerment, and real political representation? So tonight, my guest is in the best position to help me answer all of these questions if he has answers to them. Let's ask what the future is for the Nigerian youth, and how do we move from slogans and standing on mandates and lip service to actually impacting the life of young Nigerians. My guest is the founder of Policy Shapers. He's my friend, and I'm supposed to be the godmother of his child, but I was not there when the child was born. So Ebenezar Wikina joins us live from Port Harcourt. Ebenezar, how are you? Happy Independence Day, and thank you for joining us.
Happy Independence. Thank you so much for having me. Yes, my green and representing the country and the mood.
I can see that you're very patriotic, and we appreciate that. I saw you nodding at all of the statistics that I was reeling out, in terms of what, where we are as young Nigerians. So let's look at the big picture here. Nigeria has one of the largest populations, as I said earlier on. But then the unemployment rate has hit the roof. Why does this paradox continuously exist in our country, and governments come and go making promises, but these promises fall face flat?
Yeah, I think it's because no government has, at least so far, been willing to do the hard work. And I think the hard work is ensuring that they back up their promises to develop youth with actual action. Let me give you a good example. So UNESCO recommends that for countries, for developing nations, right, for you to be able to fully harness your human capital, you should be investing at least 15 to 20% of your national budget in education. So this would be infrastructure, content, all the things they need for labs and stuff like that. And over the past, at Policy Shapers, we did an analysis between 2010 and 2020. The best Nigeria invested in education was 8%. And that was the part that was 2009 or 2010. That was 8%. Since then, we've actually gone below. We've done 5%, 4% consistently.
Wow.
So how do you build the future, of the workforce if you're not really investing in it? And if you look at what we're not investing in, what else are we paying for? We're paying for changing the roof at the National Assembly. We are paying for new cars for legislators, So just looking at where our priorities are in our public spending just shows you that it's mostly lip service. Because if you truly, really want to invest in the youth and invest in the future, you would invest in how they're educated, ensuring that, it took us so many years of advocacy before we had the new curriculum review, right? And even with the new curriculum now, there's no infrastructure in place to deliver the curriculum. Who will teach the curriculum? how do like you want to learn AI, you can't imagine, you can't draw AI on the board. You need to have computers and gadgets.
I like that
You can't say
analogy.
label in computer. No, you
Mm,
cannot say label AI or label ChatGPT, right? It's something that someone has to actually see and do.
mm,
So yeah, so I think we need to go beyond lip service. Like there needs to be actual, I mean, very soon conversations around the next year budget will start. There needs to be actual, the president needs to actually like show that you really care about the youth by enforcing that, investment in education and human capital development is actually paramount. That should be the highest part of our budget. Education, healthcare. Because if we're not educated, we can't raise the doctors who would even treat us and stuff, right?
mm.
And we've seen for so many years that our public spending has not followed that light, and that's what UNESCO has recommended. Another thing would be that when young people leave school, because of how our school system had been built, our tertiary education system has been built, it's mostly been focused on finishing school and finding a job, right? And filling in the spaces.
Mm.
But then when you have a population where, I mean, you just had lawyers that's recently finished that were called to bar. A few months ago, some were called to bar, maybe like another 1,000 plus, right?
Mm.
And in a couple of months, another 1,000 plus will be called to bar. The question then would be, where would all this, like, how many law firms do we really have in Nigeria? How many, where would they really fit in, right? So what many countries have been doing, like people like India and the rest of them that have a huge population, but also do not have the corresponding industry to be able to like employ
Absorb.
all of these people,
Yeah.
absorb them, yes, into their distance. So they're now looking at ways that they even export talent,
Mm.
right? So that you have people in India who are managing call centers for companies in America or companies out, somewhere else, and they're working fully in India,
Mm.
representing those companies. So we need to start thinking of how we can begin to export talent, because truly it's obvious that that we don't have enough spaces to be able to fill in every graduate that we're bringing out. And then when you think of industrialization, so I think this is the final point. Industrialization is quite key because most of what we do currently is that we're just like taking our raw material, selling it. But the process of processing and across the whole value chain, that's where the jobs are, right? The factories where we have to process, whether it's palm oil, from the oil palm seed all the way down to the oil, like all of
Mm.
those things across the value chain.
Mm.
Those are the places where you have the job. So the blue collar economy, I think, is something that we need to also look at really, really closely. So yeah, so there's something like I just feel we need to move to action. The president needs to
Yeah.
actually show that like we care much more than just say it. Because I'm tired of hearing them talk every year that they care about the youth, they care about the future, and not really, really, putting action behind it.
Just I think last week or 2 weeks ago. No, I think it was last week that the vice
Yeah.
president was, yes, just before he went to the United Nations. He talked
So,
about
yeah,
he talked about
yeah.
government planning to create 21 million jobs. Aside from the 2.5 million jobs annually that they promised they would give youth,
Mhm. Mhm.
they launched a youth academy. I don't know if you've been able to assess that youth academy, what they are doing. There was a time that they
Mhm.
also came up with the idea of having a youth confab, which we all kicked against. I think you and I
National
had a
Youth Conference.
conversation with
Yeah.
you. I think we shut that
Yes, we
down.
did. Yes.
These policies that they keep coming up with, who do they consult with to before they come up with these things? Because I'm thinking, if I want to do something that would benefit
Mm.
women, then I have to talk to women and ask them exactly what they want. How many young
Talk to
people
women. Exactly.
have been
Exactly.
consulted? And
Exactly.
if people like you from policy shapers were called, what exactly does the average Nigerian youth
Mm.
need at the moment to further their cause on
Mm.
in the country?
Mm. 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 Yeah, yeah. No, I think young Nigerians are not asking for too much. That's why when you see young Nigerians go abroad and excel really well, like it's not out of place. They can work. An average young Nigerian can work really hard. You have young people in the UK and the US and go taking 3 or 4 jobs, and working consistently, managing that with school and then coming out with distinction and being the best in their class and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the average young Nigerian with opportunity wants to be able to like put their talent and their gifts into use, right? I think it's because of the fact that you have a society, like you said, that first, I think, doesn't take seriously the thoughts and the wishes of young people. Again, I think there's so much lip service to that. I mean, they say that they do take us seriously, but I think it's a lot of lip service. I mean, just look at the confab, for example. Even though I mean, there were conversations for and against the confab, right? But even as the president had said that he would personally fund the confab, the reason why the confab didn't hold is because there was no funding for it. I mean, there had been thematic groups that have come up, there are conversations around how they do it, some part of it virtually and then physically to reduce cost and stuff. But there's still no money that has been spent on that. So I think that's lip service. Because okay, let's say you have a national conference for young people. When the ideas from youth are actually brought forward in a report, would it be treated like the former confab reports where it's just for formality's sake, or would it actually be implemented into the the National Assembly and the various committees that related would actually take those things seriously? So they're not asking for something. Young people want security. I want to be able to know that if I take my laptop in my bag and walk from my street to the next street, whether it's 7 p.m. or 9 p.m. when I close work, I want to be sure that someone does not stop me and and stab me and take my phone and take my laptop, right? So it's security, basically.
Or the police
right?
doesn't say that you're a Yahoo boy.
That's even worse. I was even coming there. Or the police doesn't catch you and then extort all the money from you because they think that you're a fraudster, right? So young people want that basic. Young people want to be able to eat. Right? I want to be able to know that I can plan for food for the month. Now it's very hard, it's very tough to plan because like you have a budget for the market, and in 2 weeks' time the price has gone up to something else, right? So young people want to be able to eat and survive. Young people also want to be able to have leisure, just like every other young person around the world. They want to be able to buy phones, they want to be able to go for parties, they want to be able to have, after taking care of themselves, they want to be able to have some disposable income to be able to do other things that young people do for fun, right? And that's a normal youth thing, right? But if you have inflation skying really high, and you have the cost of things in the market, and you have very low security, and you have all of these constraints, I mean, power is another one. The fact that most of us begin to work remotely now, shows that you have to then do inverter and then do solar and then have generator as backup for the solar when rain falls and stuff like that. So, so I know it's very exhausting to talk about these things over and over, but like these are the actual things that young people want. So if you're able to solve these things, to a large extent, you make life easier for us. But if we keep going round and round in circles and all of these things and talking about how we care, but we don't really act on them, I think it leaves us in this situation that we are. So if they were to come to us, and there are many other like youth-led organizations, for example, Nigeria Youth SDGs Network had done extensive work on like the future of work. What's the work ecosystem like? And what kind of support do young people need? Like soft skills, plus what they do at NYSC Said, what other skills do they need? Technology skills and stuff like that. There are many organizations. Nigeria Youth Future Fund has been funding several organizations as well who are doing work in economic development. So I think like the solutions are out there. It's not like it's very far, right? I think it's just like reaching out and making sure that we embed these solutions into these programs, because there are so many programs that are coming up. But how do we embed them into the program and ensure that the program also benefits a vast majority of people, not just a select few as well, which is what we often see as the case in the country.
I'm trying to frame this question correctly. Do they hear you? Do they hear young people? Is it possible that the government hears young people, but they do not listen? Or do they not do both? For example, there is something that's been going on. I think I see a bit of it on social media where young people have like a parliament and they have these really serious conversations. I can't remember what the House of Commons or something like that. If they did really listen or hear us, wouldn't they have taken to heart some of the conversations that I go? I don't know because I'm no longer young. I'm 42. But are they hearing young people or even listening to their concerns? And I'm talking about the government.
I think there needs to be much more. There needs to be a lot more effort to actually listen. I don't know if they're hearing. Maybe it's one thing to hear, but something else to listen. You can hear sound and just ignore it, but to listen to exactly what is being said, I think is another issue again. So I think that there needs to be better effort. I think when policymakers think of social media, they just think of a platform where they can hire one young person to be their SA and let him just go there and be arguing with the young people in that space without really seeing it as a space where they can actually engage directly. So what is wrong, for example, with the president, the Nigerian president, or even governors? Let's even talk about the subnationals. Governors hosting let's say every month or every 2 months, hosting a dialogue session. It can be a Twitter space with their own accounts for young people to be able to come on and ask questions and talk to them. they can't tell me that they don't have 1 hour every month. I know you're very busy as a government. I know there's so much on your table, but you can't say you don't have at least 1 hour every month to just say, okay, let me just listen. Let's dialogue. Some people will come, of course, and be angry at you and say what they want to say, but at least they just show that you're even listening, to them. We don't have that, right? I can't even say they are even having, this is even a very bare minimum thing. I can't even say they're having town halls. I mean, there's a time in my own state, in River State, where there's a governor that used to have town hall meetings with CSOs and had young people come in there and ask questions and stuff. But since then, I mean, almost a decade now, we've not had that kind of engagement forums, right? So they could be hearing. I mean, so then have people who listen to radio for them and give them feedback and stuff, right? So they could be hearing these things, but I think they're not listening closely to the fact that these things are really important. And I think when policymakers do not listen, it often leads to much more bigger issues, like what we saw with NSAS. Like NSAS was not NSAS because of the protest. Before the protest, there were so many conversations about police brutality. Who were posting every day, oh, they took my phone, oh, they beat me up, oh, they did this. Like every day was almost like a year, 2 years, 3 years plus. I mean, that was when we had people like Sega Link at the time going to bail people from station at 12 a.m. in the night and stuff like that, right? So it was on for a long time. But because nobody was listening, it just felt like noise. And then it built into something and then became a movement and all of the things that we saw happened. So I think that, I think there's need for policymakers to actually listen and to also deliberately create engagements, forums, and platforms where people can speak and they can hear, especially young people, because I mean, like you say, we make up the vast majority of the population. So it means whatever is happening in Nigeria affects us the most, So they should make those platforms available to hear us and to listen to us. Yeah. That's my thought.
Let's talk about representation. This is, many would continuously applaud the Buhari administration for signing the not too young to run bill. But then after that, what? I just saw, I think the ADC yesterday launching something about young people and representation. I've also seen women also pushing for representation. I had NLB here yesterday, pushing that we can't have male representation in the country and no female representation. Let's talk about young people in politics. You just talked about economic power. They don't even have that to start with, let alone be able to run for these offices. So can young people form some groups? I mean, because this is what the politicians do. They have their cabals that, throw them up. Why can't young people do that?
I think young people had started to do that a couple of years ago. There's something called the Youth Party. I'm not sure if they're still registered currently, but the Youth Party has started to mobilize young people as well around let's get young people to be more involved in politics, because just like you said, there's so many barriers in the regular parties. You can't even buy the tickets. I've been working for almost how many years and I can't afford to buy a ticket. Can't afford to buy a ticket for a political party, right? And if you go meet someone to help you buy the ticket, then you person becomes in quotes your godfather, and then has to control you everywhere, and then you have all the issues that come up. So so I think that's a big issue. And I feel, for me, when I think about the issue, I always think that one thing that might help us solve this, and it's sad that it hasn't really passed yet in the National Assembly, is independent candidacy. I think that might help us just jump all of these hurdles of political parties, because currently the only way for you to be able to come out there and get yourself to be represented is through a political party, right? But perhaps if we have independent candidacy where a young person, for example, I'm here and I want to run for River State governor, I don't need to go through a political party, right? I can submit myself to INEC and go through all of the regulatory stuff, and they check me out and everything, and I can run for the office without having to go through any of the parties. Perhaps that disrupts the system, right? And
so how many young people are participating in the ongoing constitutional review? How many young people are putting petitions out in that regard to say we want independent? I mean, maybe for selfish reasons, but this is what we're pushing for. How many young people are even interested?
I know the Nigerian Youth Futures Fund, which I just joined the advisory committee. They've been doing a lot of work to get more young people to be part of the constitution conversation, especially the ones happening at the various zones, right? They've been ensuring that many young people are attending. Whether we've put forward this as a prayer, I don't know yet, but I think that that's something that actually needs to happen. Perhaps this could be the best space to be able to actually push that, because it was added to the not too young to run bill, but the National Assembly took that out. They said we would only approve this not too young to run part and not approve the independent candidacy. I think it came up again one more time in Buhari's administration as well.
Yeah.
And it also didn't pass. So perhaps, I mean, you're right. So this could be a good space for us to be able to negotiate and see how we get that. Because I think that would really, really help. Because what happens at the moment is that you have a youth wing for the party, but the youth wing never gets carried along for any serious conversation. Like the youth wing is only brought up when they're like, go on social media and make noise about something, or just like most of my friends who are political parties are like they're setting up electoral committees, and you don't have a young person there. They're like, no, that's not for you people.
And even the youth leaders in these political parties are like 50-year-olds and 60-year-olds. For me, I find it preposterous when I see youth leaders and deputy youth leaders who are my father's age. Like, what's going on? I don't know if these things are hijacked because they think that we're incapable, but I'll come back after this break to ask you, are young people in Nigeria capable of making the right decisions for themselves to start, let alone making decisions for the country? It's still hard facts. We're talking about charting a course for the Nigerian youth. My guest is Ebenezar Wikina. We're live on Facebook and on YouTube. Go post your comments and join the conversation. We'll be right back after this break.
More talk, news and sports after this.
Feeling under the weather? Tired of getting sick? Ebenezar from Vitabiotics can help. Ebenezar is a supplement packed with vitamins and minerals like vitamin D, zinc, and selenium that support your immune system. With Ebenezar, you can boost your natural defenses and fight infections, reduce your occurrence of illnesses, enjoy faster recovery, and better energy levels. Ebenezar from Vitabiotics, trusted partner to keep you healthy. Available at pharmacies near you.
All right, class, settle down. Today, let's talk about how you started your day.
We got dressed and had pancakes with John Vance 3-in-1 chocolate for breakfast.
My mom makes John Vance 3-in-1 chocolate for us too.
My mom calls it instant goodness. My sister and I always put it inside our pap. It's so yummy.
John Vance 3-in-1 chocolate is a chocolate drink made of rich cocoa, milk, and sugar. Available nationwide in stores. John Vance 3-in-1 chocolate. Enjoy instant goodness.
This one where you dey share Coke and Fanta today. What's it happen?
My guy, you never hear them say 35cl plastic bottle don't drop to 300 naira. 300 naira. No be 350 we dey buy am before. Yes, so the price don't change. Now 300 naira now. Meaning say you dey save 50 naira for every bottle. This one na real small price, big refreshment. Oh yeah, my guy, you say take one bottle.
No lose guard, grab your favorite 35cl plastic bottle for Coke, Fanta, or Sprite for just 300 naira for any store for your side. Promo go end when I will finish. Coca-Cola, real wonder.
My ions, please, can't get enough. My ions, please, give it to me now. It go rehydrate you, yeah. Replenish your ions with Pocari Sweat. Rehydrate you faster, easy to observe. Pocari Sweat, give me some more. Pocari Sweat.
In the cooking game, you need a winning game plan. I'm not just talking about your fresh ingredients, utensils, or cooking skills. I'm talking about your choice of seasoning. My game plan is incomplete without Maggi chicken flavor. Made with a flavorful formation of onions, celery, turmeric, it's my game changer. Elevate the taste of your everyday dishes with delicious rich chicken flavor. Oh yeah, let's go.
New Maggi chicken flavor, my game changer.
As we mark another client service week, Cool FM, Wazobia FM, Nigeria Info, Kids FM, and Ariwa Radio want to thank and appreciate our reputable clients for your continuous patronage to our brands. All Seasons Zenith, Media Fuse, Media Reach OMD, Media Perspective, PhD Media, Equity Media Plus, Algorithm Media, Nitro 121 Media, Brands Yard, Maxi Media, Brand I Media, Media 100, Universal Macan, Media Seal, Globacom Media,
and many more.
We assure you that our outstanding and timely service delivery will always be our priority as we offer more to serve you better.
Get ready, Lekki. Experience possibilities like never before. Daystar Christian Center, Lekki, is now at a new location. From 9 a.m. on Sunday, September 14, be part of possibilities at the Lekki Coliseum, Plot 14, Providence Street, off Admiralty Way, Lekki Phase 1, Lagos. Experience possibilities at the Lekki Center of Daystar. Daystar Christian Center, raising role models.
Niger, brace yourself. BB Niger Season 10 is here. And this time, there are no zeros, only 10s. 10 times the drama, 10 times the grass goes, 10 times the action. And Super Commando is turning the hit to the max with nothing but energy. That means 10 times the energy.
Ready to fire on this BB Niger season? Grab a bottle of Super Commando energy drink. It's nothing but energy. Super Commando, fire on!
New Lafarge water shield cement now confirm. Number one waterproof cement for Niger. Yeah. Ogbonge cement for waterlogged areas. Number one waterproof cement for Niger. Hey. New Lafarge water shield cement. Number one. New Lafarge waterproof cement now confirm. One time. Put full stop for water wahala. With Lafarge water shield cement, water go collect. If water jam house, Lafarge na confirm. Cement, new Lafarge water shield cement na confirm.
Put full stop for water wahala.
Okay, sandwich, fruits, and water. The new 33cl Nestle Pure Life Premium Drinking Water. Handy size for my little ones. No more half-finished bottles coming back home. The new 33cl bottle. Big enough to refresh, small enough to finish. And thanks to our trusted 13-step quality process, every drop is refreshingly safe. Nestle Pure Life Premium Drinking Water. Source of hydration you can trust.
Mom, are you going shopping?
Yes, darling.
Can you get me a Capri Sun beach ball, please, Mommy?
For sure. Wait, where do I get a Capri Sun beach ball?
There's a free beach ball inside every carton of Capri Sun, Mom.
That's right. The Capri Sun Beach Ball promo is here. There's a free beach ball inside every carton of Capri Sun. Terms and conditions apply.
Capri Sun, the taste of fun.
Here you go, dear.
Mom, you didn't add milk.
No need to. Taste it and see why.
Wow, but how?
Is it milky?
Yes.
Is it creamy?
Yes.
That's Milo 3-in-1 milky and creamy for you. It's so milky. I don't need to add more milk.
I love it, Mommy.
Give your kids Milo 3-in-1, milky and creamy. It's truly milky. It contains calcium to help your champ win every day. Milo, energy to go further.
Milo! Attention secondary schools in Lagos. It's back, bigger and bolder than ever. It's season 9 of the I Beg to Differ Secondary School Debate Tournament. This November, the battle for the ultimate bragging rights begins. Do you have what it takes to face the brightest young minds in Lagos? Can your school rise, debate, and claim the crown? If so, listen up. This is your chance. Registration is currently ongoing and it will close on September 30th. Don't miss it. And remember, registration is school-based. So gather your team and secure your spot. So don't forget, registration closes September 30th for the I Beg to Differ Secondary School Debate Tournament happening this November. So if you think you have the brains and the power of persuasion, make your school proud and join. Here's how to register. Step 1, visit nigeriainfo.fm. Step 2, click on the I Beg to Differ banner. Step 3, fill in the form and boom, you're in. Let's repeat the steps one more time. Step 1, go to nigeriainfo.fm. Step 2, click on the I Beg to Differ banner. Step 3, fill in the form and boom, you're in. You got it? Good. This is not just a debate. It's the Tournament of Champions. I Beg to Differ. The Tournament of Champions. See you there.
Your voice, your station, your conversation.
Nigeria's GDP growth is not 4.2%, right? It's a lie.
What is on ground to show for it?
Computer Village traders in Ikeja are skeptical about the state government's plan to remove them.
The government, on one side, they present things to be good, but on the other side, there's an hidden agenda behind it.
No visa for corrupt Nigerian official, says U.S. mission.
Ibas rejects Assembly's move to probe 6 months spending.
The INEC chairperson. So we hear the president nominates a list and who's fit for the job.
It is now the equivalent have a better chance of winning the election.
The FRC asking that they carry more guns. How will this help the situation?
You're tuned to 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. This is Hot Facts on Nigeria Info 99.3 FM. My name is Shegwa Rinze.
We're back and we're still talking about charting a course for the Nigerian young person. What is the future of the young Nigerian in today's Nigeria? It's 2025. Young people are heading tech companies and, most of them going to the moon. So many things, advancing, amazing courses all over the world. Where is the Nigerian young person? And this is not to say that there are not a few of our people who are out there doing great things, but what is the fate of the young person that's stuck here in the country? My guest is the founder of Policy Shapers, and we've been talking about, of course, government promises and delivery. We've also been talking about how much representation we have on the floor of the National Assembly and in other arms of government. Now, I did make a statement before we went on the break talking about, representation and pushing for political parties and, of course, independent candidacy. Everybody's talking about 2027 and we're 2025. Our young people are fighting between themselves about who's Ronu and who's not Ronu, who's Igbo, who's... Does it also not mean that we probably are the architects of our own failure and our... I don't want to be harsh, but the fact that we seem to be going around in the same circles year after year.
Yeah, no. I can't even talk about how depressing it is, to see these kind of conversations, especially around, tribal sentiments. Especially, you see some people talking about how, oh, my tribe's better than your tribe. Oh, we are this and oh, we are that. I might blame some of it on lack of education on history. I facilitated a session, I think sometime last month, and I was speaking about the First and Second Republic, and it was shocking how many graduates didn't have an idea of the story sounded quite alien to them. And first of all, you might want to blame them, say, oh my God, do research about your country, right? But why till today it makes no sense why history was taken out of our curriculum, right? We need to be able to make a conscious effort to educate the next generation about our history. And I feel that it's when people don't understand history and understand where we're coming from that you can see this kind of tribal sentiments have never done us good as a nation, right? And all the tribalism and all the issues. So I think if people get educated about it, they would understand better and perhaps act better, So it is sad, but I like to maintain that those people you see online are not the majority. I think that people who I think are the majority, who are people like me, who are thinking about how to make the country better, who are working, like you said, in various organizations, who are leading tech companies in Lagos, in Kanu, in Port Harcourt, who are building businesses, whether, people working as comedians or so many things, right? I think these young people need to get louder, because the sad thing is that we have a situation where the narrative is being built by the people and the bots. And research has shown, investigation has shown that quite a number of these accounts that you see pushing some of these stereotypes are actually bots. They're accounts that were formed sometimes this year or last year, and they are bots that are created to just fan the flame, right, over and over again. I think that the people who have the right message and who have the right things to say need to be more vocal. And I think that for me, I think that's what the solution is to that kind of challenge. I think that public leadership, nobody has a talent for public leadership. Public leadership is given based on track record, right? And if you want to tell me that you can lead a state, I should have seen you lead something smaller, right? It might not be a local government, but it might be an organization that is as big as a local government, or it might be a project that has almost the same amount as what the local government had, would spend, right? But there should be some kind of demonstration of leadership on a smaller scale for someone to be able to entrust you with a lot more responsibility. And I feel, even young people aside, just generally in our leadership conversations, that's something that is quite missing. If someone wants to say they can solve a big problem, they should have solved a small problem. Over and over again, like, your track record needs to be what speaks the loudest for you. And I feel there are quite a number of young people. I mean, and of course, I don't want to start on radio, so I can't start calling people's names and stuff, but there are quite a number of young people that I think have shown track record over and over again. The way they've built their organizations, the way they've led initiatives and they've led projects and they've even served in certain public spaces. The way they have done that, shows you that there's track record. So there are those young people. I strongly believe there are those that have the capacity. I think it's about how we can ensure that they are. I don't say giving the opportunity, because sometimes you have to also take it, right? How they can ensure that they are positioned enough to be able to get themselves in those spaces where they can make change. I think that's where it comes down, and that leads to what we said earlier about political parties and the issues around candidacy and stuff like that.
I just want to ask one last question before I open up the phone lines, because I want to hear from the audience. If government doesn't deliver, which it hasn't, most of the time they don't, in terms of all of the promises that they've made, whether in terms of tech, agriculture, creative industries, and civic leadership, or even just providing the enabling environment for businesses to thrive. I mean, I remember in my state, when Ayade was governor, lots of businesses shut down and people ran away from, and they all moved to Akwa Ibom, where there's an enabling environment. There are those who would also complain about, the endless taxation and harassments here in Lagos. I had a friend of mine who's into billboard businesses and said he would never come to Lagos because he knows why. And I at first I didn't understand what he meant, but if government fails, what do the young people have to do what's the next step? What exactly? Because as it is, it looks like our backs are against the wall, but then we're not even fighting back. And I'm using the word fighting back loosely here.
Yeah, no, fighting back loosely, just as you, I think that's what I also love to say. I think we need to fight back. We need to find, the most constructive, the most productive avenues to continue. I mean, like what radio does, ensures that the conversation is constantly on the minds of people. People can get so stuck in the suffering and the challenges of what's happening in the economy that they don't even talk about the solutions, right? So I think just keep ensuring that we're fighting back by asking for the right things to be done, demanding every day, no matter how annoying and sad and tiring it is, asking and demanding that the right things are done, organizing ourselves, whether we're doing it physically or virtually, or in any way, to ensure that we put as much public pressure as possible on the decision makers. I think also modeling leadership as well. I mean, for over the past couple of years, I think I've gotten to the space where I've started to think that maybe we need to model leadership for those people in office to also see. And that was one of the reasons why we started the Reverse 2050 vision. My state hasn't had a plan. For the last time we had a plan in Rivers State was 50 years ago. That was in 1975. And that was when we had a governor who was in his 20s, actually. He was our first military governor, Commander Alfred JSS was in his 20s. And it was that plan that set the foundation for my state post-Civil War. The secretariat buildings that we have till today have been there for 50 plus years. The businesses that we had, most of which have now been closed down in the Trans-Amadi area, was because of that particular plan. And I advocated for a couple of years for the state's governments to have a plan, but you know how politics in Rivers State is, sadly, with all of the bickering and all the sadness. And so I took it upon myself in February this year to say, okay, we'll actually do a plan. Let's actually do it. Let young people come together and let's lead a plan. Let's model to these people what it should be and put them under pressure, and say, like, if I can do it, without any government money, with my own little personal change that I have, and by coordinating people, how much more who has all of
that
this
has
power and all
everything.
that has everything at your own disposal. And actually, we made a lot of progress. We've made a whole lot. The work is being done. We'll be launching the 2050 vision next year. We've started engagements at the various 23 local government areas, hosting town hall conversations with local communities, speaking in the language of the people and stuff like that. So I think that there are many other spaces where we can, as young people, model this leadership, to them and say, let's also show you that we can actually do it. And I think that could be one of the ways their toes and force them to do the right thing. Yeah.
Lovely. Yeah. Well, I have questions. I want to open up the phone lines. We're live on facebook.com/Nigeria Info FM. We're also live on YouTube, Nigeria Info FM. If you're a young person and maybe, you've benefited from any empowerment program from the government at the federal or state levels, or even NGOs like Ebenezar and I, did it actually help you to become a better person? Did it help you grow? Would like to hear your thoughts. Also, what is Nigeria's biggest barrier that is facing our young people today? Is it lack of jobs? Is it lack of credit, poor governance, or high cost of living? I'm sure that people will come at it from different angles. Of course, what kind of political representation do you think young Nigerians deserve, and how do we get there? We'd like to hear from you. 0201-277-0993, 0201-465-7190. You could join the conversation on WhatsApp. It's 08095975805. 60 seconds, go straight to the point. Hello.
Good evening, Maryann. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Jonathan is my name.
All right.
If we are talking about the young people in Nigeria, I'm very sorry. There is no plan for the young people at all. Why am I saying so? In the era of my father, when they were going to school, they were well educated. In fact, they were paying close to zero to be educated, and the education was top notch. I can confidently tell you right now that 80%, if not 90% of the youth are outside school. What does that prepare? Danger. And that's the reality. Even the 20% that inside the school, for them to even finish the school is a war. All these people leading us up to today, go and check their schooling. This is not the kind of schooling they were. And if you have as much as 90% of your youth outside the walls of the school, you can draw the conclusion. You can draw your conclusion.
All right.
You can draw your conclusion. So that's just the way it is. That's the way I look at it. All
right, Jonathan, thank you very much for calling. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Hello, Maryann. Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Madam Lucky. I'm coming from the
Go ahead.
Yeah, so that's the issue on the ground. You see, politics is like a game of football. If your opponent knows that particular win, you are not marking it very well. That is liquid. Every time they carry ball, they will try to pass that to be scoring you. So my point is this. What the political class are using against the youth is this. It's division. They create division by giving appointment. You look for one person with a very big follower who may not even be qualified for that position as a local government chairman, but you don't push him forward to take the party ticket, stand behind him as the godfather. Because you know that guy coming there, go to the social media, you will see the youth who are supporting Peter Obi or supporting the current president. You will see them insulting themselves. And the problem of the North, another one is that the problem of the North as well is that lack of education. Majority of them yet. And that's why you hear will tell you that we will work against Tinubu, because they know that anywhere they go, the youth will follow them. Because majority of the people voting in the North, they are the youth, and they don't want to listen because of their people
All right.
like that.
All right.
So that is it. It's about division among the youth and greediness for money.
All right, Madam Lucky, thank you very much for calling. Welcome to Hard Facts.
Good evening, Maryann.
Good evening.
Yes, my name is Collins. I'm calling from Ibejuleki.
Go ahead.
Yes, your guest, he said something about exporting talents when he was discussing about the models probably a country like Nigeria can adopt. Help her, just like what India, because of her population and all that. So my question is, if you want us to adopt that model, in the first instance, how will government, gain from exporting her talents? That's number one. Number two, wouldn't it amount to brain drain? Are we not encouraging brain drain if we adopt that model? Because that's one of the reasons we're hitting government, that they're not doing well. They're allowing our talents to go. So let him,
Great question. Ebenezar.
Yes, I know. Amazing question. I actually didn't mean this as people physically leaving the country to other countries. We already have that happening as well. Japa is already happening, right? What I actually meant was leveraging virtual technologies to be able to solve problems for other countries in a way that the value that we get from that work comes to Nigeria instead of to those countries, right? So I was giving an example of how you have many Indian companies that are set up as call center stations for certain foreign companies, right? Some of them even build you have a developer team, for example. Most of the iPhones that we use are made in China, right? So you have all of these companies that are in the country doing work for.
Oh, Ebenezer, are you there? We lost your connection. Are you there? Oh my goodness, we've lost Ebenezer's connection there. Hopefully we can get him back. Let's take a few more calls. Hello. Okay, Ebenezer, you're back. Let's take a few more calls. We lost you for a second. Hello.
Hi, Maryann. Yeah, Maryann.
Rapu, are you a youth?
Well, you said?
Are you a youth?
I can't hear you.
Are you a youth?
I'm a youth. Yeah, let me speak for the youth.
Okay.
Here, as much as they cannot speak for, let me speak for them. See, there are still hope for youth. Let them go and get educated. Go to university. Let them finish university at least. Have some knowledge. You know, again, let our government have a data plan for our public offices. Once you serve for 10 years in any public office, you should vacate the office because all the old men, they occupy these spaces. They are not, many people are graduating, many students, young ones are graduated almost on yearly basis. And there are no jobs. There are jobs, but they are not vacant. No space. They fill the space. Once they serve 10 years, they have a plan data. In as much as a public power holding can have plan data for units, they should have plan data for our retirement age.
All right.
Once you are 10 years, you vacate the office.
All right. Thank you very much for calling, Rapper. I'm letting you go because of time. We need to take as many calls as we can before we wrap things up here. Let's also go to WhatsApp quickly to see some of the messages that are coming in. Okay, this one says, good evening and greetings to your guest. Well done for the good job. Some years ago, I asked a youth if he was voted for to be in a position. Asked if he was voted for to be in a position. His response was that he will first embezzle money for his family, born and unborn. Very shockingly, you will say. If the old politicians can lay a good example, the youth will follow. This is from Adebayo in Igbogbo. Wow, that's an interesting perspective, if you ask me. Why would anybody do that? Anyway, again, it's because of, like you said, it's because the leaders are doing it. So why would the followers not want to do that? Let me take one last call and then we'll wrap things up here. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Princess Maryann, good evening. Peter Bones.
60 seconds, Peter.
I didn't pay attention. I'm just coming in. But however, if you're talking about the youth, one thing I will stand for the youth is this. I think our office holders, once it is 60 years, they should leave the scene of offices so that there will be space for our youth. Not that you give judges 70 years. Once you are 60 years, leave the scene so that vacuums will be created for our youth. That's what I want to say. Good evening.
All right, Peter, thank you very much for joining the conversation. My time is fast spent and there's someone here who's trying to pursue me out of the studio. It's just that I'm not going to let her do that. But first, I want to say thank you to my guest, Ebenezar Wikina, for joining us in the conversation today. Ebenezar, always a pleasure to have you, and good job with Policy Shapers and, of course, your new appointment to be on a board. Amazing stuff. Keep the flag flying. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Thank you very much. Lagos, before we go, the youths are often called leaders of tomorrow, but tomorrow never seems to come. With over 70% of Nigeria made up of young people, our future depends on how well we empower our young people today. So, will government promises match their delivery? As we gear up for another campaign season and an election year, we need to make sure that we force government to create a path for our young people and a future for them. And that is a hard fact. Thank you all for being part of the conversation. I'll be back tomorrow with Hard Fact Awards. My name is Maryann Okon. Bye-bye.
Introducing the essence of true authenticity in fragrance. Wazobia perfume, the correct scent. A unique blend that captivates the authentic spirit of Nigeria. Now available in both perfume and body spray. Designed for everyone. Yes, you heard it right. Wazobia perfume is a unisex fragrance. Perfect for both men and women. Its rich and versatile aroma is a statement of inclusivity and unity. Unleash your confidence with every spray. Are you a retailer or do you love to buy in bulk? We've got you covered across Nigeria. Wazobia perfume comes in cartons of 24 bottles and the body spray is available in cartons of 48. Interested in making Wazobia perfume a part of your collection or store? For carton purchases, contact us. Email at wazobiacosmetics.ng. One more time, contact at wazobiacosmetics.ng or call us on 0201 33000047. Repeating the number one more time, 0201 33000047. Our team is ready to assist you with your orders. Wazobia perfume, the correct scent. Your new signature fragrance is just a call or a click away. Authentic, unisex, confidence. Wazobia.
Hey Lagos, don't forget that you too can win money on here on Nigeria Info, courtesy of oneplay.ng. Now I know I have said this time and time again, but I mean, does the money ever get too much? All you have to do is go to the website www.oneplay.ng. That's number oneplay.ng. And when you get to that website, pick your station Nigeria Info, follow the instructions, and in a few seconds your ticket will be in the draw. A ticket is 500 naira, so you can play with 500 naira or more. And if you don't have a smartphone, well, not to worry. All you have to do is dial the code
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.